The latest electrostatics from the Japanese company Stax, the X9000. Wow, there's a lot to discuss here. Some good and unfortunately some bad, especially in comparison to some of the other headphones that sits in this category, setting aside the topology of electrostatics. Why don't we begin? First and foremost, I would like to extend a massive thank you to Jez for lending us his brand new X9000 for review. It landed at his place. Within 24 hours, he sent it to CMA for review. I genuinely appreciate it. It's viewers such as Jez that allows me to do my job and bring you the latest and the best equipment around on the market. You pay $7,000 for this unit after waiting a very long amount of time because they build these to order, I believe, and this one took roughly 20 weeks. We ordered this around February time, I think it was, when Jez and I put the orders through, and his one came first. And he got it just before CanJam London. That was a couple of weeks ago now. So this unit has been here for 4 weeks. Let's unbox it and see what it's like. I think the best cardboard box of any headphones on the market, done in the best Japanese way possible. Then we have this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, light Japanese wood housing with this metal plate over here. Airtight and sealed, beautiful, gorgeous wood. Absolutely love it. Nice foam to protect the top of the headphones. Very nice. PDF manual from Japan, thank you. And then this foam holding the entire chassis in place and cables, etc. Okay. Here we have the headphones and two cables, like I thought. Yes, a short one and a long one. Inside this velvet, I just want to climb in there and lie down, is the Stax X9000. So these are the headphones themselves. Beautiful head strap. Nope, I don't think it's real leather. But the adjustability of the head strap is extremely satisfying and very clicky. And you actually adjust it from within the underside of the headband. And the headband is up here, this beautiful curved, very slim profile headband, which I actually like. A lot of headphones tend to overarch that and make it extremely big. Like the Meze. Looks nice, but a bit very strange looking. But this is a bit more slim profile. We have these circular cups for this electrostatic. This is another 550 volt bias, so you can't plug this obviously into your normal amplifier, such as the Siegfried back there, etc. I literally just came off the Shangri-La review. And the articulation on this headphone is okay. You get about 30 degrees forward, 30 degrees back, and the headphone cups tilt forward and back like this. This headphone is extraordinarily comfortable. Full specifications scrolling down your screen now. Fortunately, Stax have learned their mistake, and this is a detachable cable for this headphone. So with that, let's actually have a look at the cables. They're spooled very nicely. This one is more for a short listen at the desk with the 5-pin connection, just like the Shangri-La, with this beautiful cap on top covering the pins so you don't damage it. And this, I believe the SR009S has this type of cable as well. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections, copper, purest of the pure kind going through this wire. It's a flat wire, does not keep its shape. It's extremely comfortable. It's got a little bit of a weight, but versus the Shangri-La's cable, this is night and day. It's like a Volkswagen versus a Ferrari in that scenario. These headphones breathe extremely well. These cups are faux leather and very nice material, like genuinely very nice material. Japan tend to use protein from the underside of eggshells, and I'm curious if this is that too. I couldn't find any information on it. These are the headphones. I was very excited to hear these headphones, and the first time I got to hear them was at Audio Sanctuary in London, I think a year and a half ago now, and then many events happened through then, since that time, and I got to hear these over and over again on a variety of systems, and now I actually got to review it on my own system, which is the Warwick Acoustics Aperio DAC, the LTA Z10E Energizer, and the Chakron-free interconnects from Double Helix. Check out the review for all of those things down below. That's the headphones. Comfortable, beautiful, definitely worthy of their price tag. In every aspect, they are amazing. I am very, very happy with the hardware of these headphones. But how do they sound? Let's move over to the sound desk and discuss. Incidentally, I honestly believe the X9000 is the best electrostatics that Stax have made, period. It genuinely is a culmination of the past 50-60 years of experience from this company. I have heard the 009, 007, L700, L500, 009S in this category from this company. And genuinely, the X9000 has some of the most romantic sounds you're going to find on any headphone, period. Not just electrostatic. It's beautiful. Let's break that down. Through thorough testing, we know that electrostatics require the right chain, the right synergy. Sometimes you can have incredible equipment behind the electrostatic. If the synergy isn't right, unfortunately, you're going to have a bad experience. But the X9000 seems to circumvent a lot of this, which is great. And this is down to their tuning. The headphone is tuned neutral dark with a very lush mid-range. This headphone is genuinely the AUDEZE LCD5 corrected. A touch of atrium from ZMF with a bit more warmth in the mid-range. Extremely detailed in this category. This is where Susvara, a planar headphone, AB1266 behind me, another planar headphone, or the Focal Utopia, a dynamic headphone, we are talking $7,000. And unfortunately, electrostatics are a very deep rabbit hole because it's not just the price of the transducers. The equipment itself behind the transducer will cost you a pretty penny too. It's a serious investment. For this review, I have settled on the LTA Z10E for the Energizer and the Warwick Acoustics Aperio system for the DAC and for the Pre. Using Room and HQ Player as the source, upsampling when necessary or when required. The interconnects are the Chakron-frees from Double Helix, Supernova cables from IFI, and the iPower station from IFI, rounding out the system nicely. So, we're talking about a 45k system for the X9000s to drive it to its limits to see what these are capable of. I'm going to work my way down. I think for this review, it's best to work our way down from the frequency response category from the top to the bottom, because you will see where the problems start showing their face. The treble region is highly resolving, very detailed. Every nuance of sound, every pluck of acoustic strings, upper frets of violins, or the highest category, I hope that plane's on crashing, or the highest element of sound in electronic music is highly detailed, resolving, and smooth as silk. I think that's the one thing I can say about these headphones. They are very smooth. The mid-range is highly conducive to female vocals, very intimate, very lush. Something like Billie Eilish just pops off of the drivers. It's so resolving, it's utterly beautiful and captivating. The bass region, unfortunately, on these headphones is a hit and miss. If the track is mixed in the lower registers of, for example, 100 Hz for the kick drums or lower slightly, or the sub-bass category is slightly higher than 20 Hz, you will probably have a fantastic experience. This is traditionally an electrostatic that performs like an electrostatic that is an electrostatic. But that's only in its detail retrieval. In its stage, speed, bass response, and portrayal of the tracks, this sounds like a normal headphone, just with more detail. Genuinely, I think Even for detail retrieval on this setup here, so I'm only judging it by the setup here, I think some other headphones could be 90% of the way there in regards to detail retrieval, such as the Hifiman Susvaras or the AB1266TC or Utopia. It's very resolving, but the tuning they have gone for tends to mask a little bit. So the Shang Senior, unlike other electrostatics, can separate the detail retrieval, the tonal balance and timbre, etc. And each one of those characteristics can be put into a box of its own category. But the X9000, due to its tuning, I think tends to mask a little of the detail retrieval. It's very resolving though. This is in the category of 10,000 and below of electrostatics and planar and dynamic headphones. It's absolutely exceptional. For me personally, this is definitely not a one and only headphone. I have to have some companion to this, a Susvara or a 1266, because the bass response is just not there. Not for EDM, not for hard-hitting music. It just isn't there. X9000 versus Susvaras and LCD5. Where does this headphone shine? I think over those two headphones, the Susvaras because it's the best planar in the world, period. LCD5 because it's one of my favorite personal planars due to its tuning and it's quite close to the X9000. The X9000 is smoother. Its timbre is exceptional actually. Very, very good. Kicking the heels of Susvara is good. Taking a track from Billie Eilish, No Time to Die. Every nuance of her vocals, her vulnerability, her articulation and texture of her voice is pronounced. Realistic, intimate, and gorgeous. The way that track stages on the X9000 is smaller than the LCD5 and considerably smaller than the Hifiman Susvaras. But transients, echo, recreation of the stage where the track was placed in is highly resolving, except when we move to another genre. Let's take an old track. One of my favorites, but a very old track from Bon Jovi, Always. Those drums are supposed to be visceral, impactful, and full-bodied. The other two headphones, LCD5 and Susvaras, definitely portray this. But unfortunately, the X9000, though creating the shape of the frequency in the mid-bass and sub-bass category, feels hollow, empty, airy, ethereal and light. Taking a track from Hans Zimmer from Interstellar, the full body is there, so I've got a feeling that the X9000 seems to sing a little bit better with real music and real instruments. Unfortunately, Valkyria suffers from the same principle, where the bass falls apart for electronic music. This is a companion headphone, an extraordinarily expensive one. One of my favorite tunings, it's definitely in my top 5 without a doubt. It's non-fatiguing, it's all-day listening, but it's not the best. So I'm lukewarm about these headphones. Let's break it down with a track from Infected Mushroom Converting Vegetarians. The sub-bass synth is there. It digs low, but it has absolutely no impact on your eardrums. The mid-bass punch as the track kicks in is there. It's almost feelable. But when you have headphones like Atrium, 1266, Utopia in this category, and you can't genuinely listen to them side by side. But when you get to the mid-range and the treble region and detail retrieval, this headphone sings and should win an award. It's stunning. So if you like vocals, acoustic music, real instruments, cellos, violins, and any genre of music that really does reside in the treble and mid, and maybe a little mid-bass category, I think you're going to be happy as Larry. But for those of you who want an all-round headphone that does every genre exceptionally well, and there are headphones like that, the X9000 needs a companion. It's a fantastic headphone. It's just not a great headphone. I genuinely am upset by its stage. It doesn't stage bigger than CRBN. I've heard it on a variety of equipment now, on the Blue Hawaii C from Headamp, on the LTA Z10E, my own here, on the Stax $15,000 Energizer and their $7,000 one. It's always a bit underwhelming. And yet you don't want to take the headphones off when you wear them. They are just good enough in the super flagship category. And unfortunately, just good enough does not cut it. Not when you're chained, and the headphones themselves will most likely cost you close to $20,000. I prefer Warwick Acoustics Bravura if I was going for this category. But the comfort, the build quality shines. It's an all-day listen. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a underwhelming headphone after a while. Once the initial honeymoon fades away and you're over the beautiful mid-range and treble region, you just go eh, and especially when you have 1266, Binom ER, Susvaras, Utopias on the table. For me personally, unless X9000 was something that I really wanted because it worked for the things I wanted it for, I'll have to set this $7,000 headphone aside, unfortunately. Conclusion: if you love mid-range, if you love treble region, resolvability, comfort, build and design, you pick the X9000. If you want impact, incredible bass extension, visceral electronic music monsters, visceral impact for rock and metal, though the tuning is perfect for metal, unfortunately, I would say no. I highly recommend checking out the Warwick Acoustics Bravura review here. At $6,000, with everything combined together, including the Energizer, DAC, transducers, build quality, I think it might be a better choice. Though the tuning I prefer on the X9000. Exponential. The Bravura is neutral, yet sweet sounding. And I'm sorry, the Hifiman Susvaras on a super flagship setup, I mean, this setup is $45,000. If I was to spend $45,000 on for the Susvaras like the DCS Bartok, Clock and Lena Amp, it will utterly annihilate X9000 in every metric. It's the most electrostatic planar headphone there is. Let me know how your experience of the X9000 has been in the comment section down below. And if you like reviews such as this and you would like to support the channel and move us onto the next step of the journey, consider joining Patreon and the private Telegram chat where we discuss these equipment as soon as they come into land. If not, your subscription, your share is very much appreciated. We can see through the metrics that only 35% of you subscribe, but most of you seem to come back, and especially to our newcomers. It will genuinely bring the channel out from under the feet of the algorithm. If only 60% of you subscribed, the channel would have 25,000 subscribers now. So please, do me a favor, save a puppy and subscribe. You don't want the puppy to die, do you? Until the next one. Peace.